What is up, guys? My name is Matt from Magic the Greatening, and today I'm going to bring you some of the spoils that were spoiled last night or early this morning, and some of them are pretty cool. Go ahead and leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new, and my deck tech will come out tomorrow, depending on how the vote finishes. Right now, you guys are between Oketra and Odric Mono White, and Just Sky Control. So go ahead and go to my last video, watch that, and then vote for the next deck tech. And but now let's get into the spoilers. All right, let's just go through them here. We got another Naga Wizard. Definitely gonna make a green-blue Naga tribal deck here in our Devastation. But it's another Naga Wizard. 2 and a blue for a 2/1 creature. That says, when Champion of Wits enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. Eternalize is for 5 and 2 blue. And if you guys don't remember what Eternalize is, it's basically Embalm, but it comes back as a 4/4. So the great thing about this card, obviously it's a 3-mana 2/1 that draws you 2 cards, and then you have to discard 2 cards. But if you have a Metallic Mimic set to Naga, it comes out with 3 power, you draw 3 cards. You discard 2 cards for 3 mana. That's really strong, so definitely gonna be a key part of the Naga tribal budget deck I'm gonna make here. I'm looking forward to playtesting with this card. Let's move on. All right, we got another mythic. I'm not sure if this is the last mythic, but it's an enchantment or a cursed. It costs 6 and 2 white. Yeah. 8 mana, but it's very strong. Enchant player. Creatures enchanted player controls lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1. Every creature is just a 1/1 with nothing. And enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. So that basically means it just destroys it keeps their entire board becomes 1/1s, and they can only activate planeswalkers and mana dorks and their lands, and that's it. Very, very strong. I'm not sure at 8 mana that it's going to be very good. There's a lot of ways to cheat cards here in this standard, but I don't know if you want to cheat in this. It gets countered, you feel bad. It gets cast out, you feel bad. It's just not too strong of a card. I don't even see me putting it in a deck tech, and I try to put all the cards in deck techs because I like playing with every single card in the set. So I just don't see using this. Maybe I'm missing something or whatever, but my initial thought was it's just too much mana. That does not a whole lot, especially in a control deck that runs white. They're already going to have a small board, so this doesn't feel like it'll fit in a control deck. Alright, we get a pretty sweet rare here. It's a 2 and a black for a creature. It's a 5/5. A zombie crocodile demon with Afflict 3. Remember, Afflict is whenever this creature becomes blocked, it'll deal 3 damage to your opponent, right? So, whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a -1/-1 counter on Emit Eternal. Whenever Emit Eternal deals combat damage to a player, remove all -1/-1 counters from it. So this is a very strong and a black-green -1 counter deck. Patra, turn 2. Turn 3, this. You start putting -1 counters on it whenever they cast a spell. You get 1/1 snakes. You can easily get rid of it. And then if you're not able to do combat damage to get rid of the -1 counters on it, there's always Hapatra's Mark or whatever the card's called that gets rid of -1 counters on a guy and gives it +2/+2 until end of turn, or hexproof until end of turn, or something like that. So this card can be very, very nice in that deck. I'm also thinking in a black-red Afflict deck could be very, very nice. Helps push through damage. Goes well with the 4 and 5 drop Eternal cards, Neheb the Eternal, and I forgot the other one, but it ends in Eternal. I'll probably have them up on screen anyway. This card fits well with that curve. A lot of good Afflict cards, but I think its best use is probably in a black-green -1 counter deck. Alright, we get another white-black zombie. I'm not sure how good it is compared to Wayward Servant and Binding Mummy, but we'll see. It's 1 in a black, 1 blue, or 1 white and a black, For a creature zombie, 2/3. You pay 1 in a white, target attacking zombie gains lifelink until end of turn. You pay 1 in a black, target attacking zombie gets death touch until end of turn. Not going to see any competitive play in the zombie deck. You guys probably already know that, but maybe in a budget white-black zombie deck, this could be added to the list. It's probably underrated because giving a zombie either lifelink or death touch when they try to surprise you with a Torrential Gearhulk or something, and obviously they probably won't want to throw Torrential Gearhulks in front of your zombies because you have this card out. It can give itself lifelink or death touch, which is very relevant too if it's the only creature you have out in the battlefield. So a lot of the zombies obviously are 1, 2, and 3 drops. Once you get 5, 6 mana, you can start sinking in mana into this guy and start giving your guys death touch and lifelink, and they won't want to block, and you gain a whole bunch of life, and you're dealing a whole bunch of damage. So I could see it being good in a white-black budget zombie deck, but outside of that, probably not. Not going to see any competitive play. We got a red-blue Aftermath card here. It's 3 in a red for the first half and 2 in a blue for the second half. First half is an instant. It's called Refuse. Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's converted mana cost. So what that kind of means is it's not dealing 4 damage to the opponent because Refuse has a converted mana cost of 4. What it does is your opponent plays a spell, and it's like you play this in response. So let's say your opponent plays a Torrential Gearhulk. You play Refuse, and it says, Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's converted mana cost. So it'll deal 6 damage to their controller since Torrential Gearhulk is a 6-drop. They try to drop down Part the Water Veil or an Ulamog or anything that costs 8, 9, 10, up there in the 8, 9, 10. This will start really doing some damage. Like, I could definitely see making a deck around this, or maybe sideboarding it in a... I'm feeling of a mono red like burn deck, and it's not going to be super aggro. You're playing things like Neheb the Eternal and Vessel of Volatility and this card, right? And you splash a little bit of blue so you don't get countered, and you can counter their counters or whatever. But this plus Neheb the Eternal plus Vessel of Volatility plus like Burn from Within can be very, very strong. And that I've started already like testing this, but I'm going to definitely add this to the deck to see how well it does. But the second half is Cooperate, so Refuse to Cooperate. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is very good, like a 3-mana copy a spell that comes out of your graveyard. So let's say you wanted to double on a Grasp of Darkness, double on Incendiary Flow, double on anything. Let's say you play a Burn from Within for X9, but you leave up 3 extra floating mana, including 1 blue. You can then copy that, and you can just deal 18 damage to their face. Like, it seems very strong in that deck I was just referring to. Definitely going to do this. I'm sure there's other practical uses, but a 3-mana copy target instant or sorcery spell as the Aftermath half, very strong. I can't wait to use it in a blue-red deck. All right, the last card we got was a cool artifact. Not going to see any competitive play, though. It's a 7-mana artifact. It says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn. So it's the Scarab God, but worse. Like, yeah, the Scarab God only costs 2 less, and I guess if you play a whole bunch of mana rocks and stuff like that, you can run into this, or maybe you... maybe you play like Foundry Inspector and a whole bunch of like mana rocks like Hedron Archive and stuff like that. But even then, you get this out, you gotta start milling yourself. I just don't see a practical use of this. The Scarab God is like 4, 5, 6 times better than this. Just because it's a creature. It basically has indestructible. It's very hard to get rid of. It's a 5-mana 5/5 creature. It does more than just eternalize a creature. It can eternalize a creature from any graveyard. And it's got that zombie scry and drain ability. And again, when it dies, it goes back to your hand. So if this gets removed by a Bifrost or Dissenter's Deliverance, you're done. So not going to see any actual use, but maybe I am missing something with this card, but I just feel like if you're gonna play like an eternalized deck where you're turning stuff from your or your opponent's graveyard into your creatures, you'd want to play Scarab God 10 times, like always, over this card. All right, guys, hold on. Before I start throwing off God-Pharaoh's Gift away, Gate to the Afterlife is an Amonkhet card. I completely forgot about this, and I realized, like, I recognized the name, God-Pharaoh's Gift. So Gate to the Afterlife is a 3-mana artifact. It says whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you gain 1 life, then you may draw and discard a card. But then it says you may pay 2, tap this, and sacrifice Gate to the Afterlife. Search your graveyard, hand, and or library for a card named God-Pharaoh's Gift and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it, activate this ability if there are only 6 or more creature cards in your graveyard. So maybe it's playable in a budget deck where you mill yourself. Maybe not even a budget deck, but a deck where you mill yourself. It seems like this card just got a lot more playable because of Gate to the Afterlife. Therefore, it can kind of come in for 5 mana or 2 mana, depending on if you want to pay the 5 mana all in one turn. Obviously not going to get any competitive play, but it still seems like a decent card. And it's, yeah, so you got to start milling yourself. You got to start playing creatures that are worth putting into your graveyard. Some like Ulamog, Torrential Gearhulk, any of the Gearhulks really. Just some huge creatures that you can eternalize that just become ridiculously powerful. So obviously not competitive play, but God-Pharaoh's Gift, don't count it out yet because there is Gate to the Afterlife. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. My deck tech is coming out tomorrow, so don't go ahead and vote for it on my previous video. I'll have a link in the description, and I'll have the card in the top right where you can click that and go ahead and view that video and vote. Right now, I think Oketra and Odric Mono White are leading the charge. It's a budget deck, so probably going to see that tomorrow. Maybe Just Guy Control can get a few more points and take that. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this spoilers video. Some pretty cool spoilers, some not important spoilers, but some cool ones nonetheless. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.